Time travel is a topic that has been much debated and theorized about. For wouldn't it be incredible to see how our ancestors lived, feel the earth shake at the approach of a dinosaur, or peek into the future to see what's in store for us? However, from a technical point of view, it seems like an immensely complicated puzzle to solve. First up, you need to somehow transport matter through both space and time simultaneously, which would require either teleportation technology that could somehow also affect time, or the generation of some sort of spatial pocket in which the rules of time are somehow different from those outside it, and which would move relative to the world outside the pocket. Because, and this is the second hurdle to cross, one thing many people also forget is that the whole universe is also constantly in motion. Our planet whizzes through our solar system at a speed of 2.6 million kilometers a day, and even our solar system, galaxy, and probably even our universe as a whole are constantly moving at unimaginable speeds. This means that any object that would move through time would invariably end up somewhere the Earth is not, since the Earth has moved away from that point in space or has not moved to that point in space yet, depending on whether you go back or forth in time. In short, you'd probably end up in space and die. But, for argument's sake, let's say scientists manage to overcome both the time travel and spatial location issues, and we could be Marty McFly, traveling to the past or the future as we see fit, in some sort of amazing time machine. What could or would it actually be like? The first issue at hand would be the fact that there would be an apparent temporal paradox. When we move either backward or forward through time, we would change things instantly. The very first atom we move out of the way in the past would change pretty much everything from that point in time onwards. And if we go forward in time, there's a void in our reality where you would have been, meaning everything you would have affected is now not affected. And again, also the future is different from what it would have been had you been there. There are many theories as to what could happen if we could move through time, so let's pick out some of the prime candidates. One theory says that if time travel is possible and someone managed to travel through time, it would already have happened, and our current reality, the one we are living in and aware of, is a direct result of whatever state the time traveler left our past world in. But, as mentioned before, the traveler would have altered the past they visited, meaning the present he or she left from would also be different. In all probability, it would mean that the time traveler themselves would never have been born due to the innumerable variables that were required to create that exact person. So they could not have gone back in time to change the past, which they just changed. A person can lose their sanity thinking about such things. Then there is the theory that we should be able to affect the past or the future, since we would be independent entities to arrive there, and thus not bound by the causality that binds the other matter in that time stream. But the effects of that theory could also be catastrophic. Some say the universe could cease to exist if your future and past selves met, because the same matter cannot exist in two different iterations and at the identical location in the same timeline. Others say the universe would try to correct the imbalance of you being there by trying to push you out, meaning you'd gradually get sicker and or weaker until you either died or disappeared. Or maybe your trip would cause some sort of chronometric imbalance in which two realities collide, and the two realities would either end up destroying each other or somehow get interwoven into a new reality with aspects of both realities in it. And even if there would not be any negative effects to either yourself or the universe from your initial trip, there is of course always the very real possibility of wiping out either yourself or your loved ones through your influence on the past. Doesn't sound like a risk worth taking, honestly. Then there's the infinite timelines theory, where our reality is only one of a near countless number of realities, all ever so slightly different from one another. In this theory, traveling through time would actually mean leaving our reality and venturing into another one. This way, our present reality would not be altered by whatever actions the traveler made in the past, since it would be an alternate timeline they'd be impacting. If this were the case, however, it would mean that first and foremost it would be impossible to change the past from our point of view. So if a time traveler came back from the past, claiming to have killed Adolf Hitler before he could start World War II, we could simply show them that this didn't happen, and we'd put them away in a loony bin if they insisted they did. Another possibility, if this theory holds true, is that once we live this reality, we'd probably never be able to find our way back here, since our limited human minds cannot begin to fathom all the factors that came into play to make our reality exactly the way it is now. It means that anyone unlucky enough to leave our timeline would almost certainly forever be lost to us, endlessly going from one reality to the next, looking for the one reality they call theirs for the rest of their days. There are plenty of other theories out there, like the one where it might be possible to inject your own essence or consciousness into another human being from the past or future, or that it's patently impossible to travel through time because every atom in our universe has a fixed place it has to exist in, and those locations simply cannot be altered, since time is an absolute barrier which cannot be broken. Although one could argue that time itself is merely a human invention, and it would be such monumental hubris to assume we tiny Homo sapiens conceived one of the greatest forces in existence, even if, in reality, we probably only gave a name to a phenomenon. Whatever may be the case, writing this has caused me to travel more than 2 hours into the future. So, for me, the time for writing has passed and the time for sleep has come. I hope you had a good time reading or listening to these words, and I will see you again another time. Thanks for watching and or listening. If you like what you saw or heard, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel Dystopian Reality. Want to do more? You can become a patron by going to patreon.com/dystopian. Supporting means more content and better quality content, and will ensure that I can keep making these videos for a long time to come. And remember, reality is what you make it, so create a better one today.